Winter in Forza Horizon 4. What a splendid season to race Lamborghinis in S2 class. Had to get that off my chest, but let's try to start properly now. Well, hello there and thanks for joining me on this beastly trial. And I do believe that for a lot of folks it will be trial and error. And as you will see, it was for me as well. This week's races will not be your average clean races. We'll be visiting the countryside on a regular basis. But does that stop us from winning this championship? Or will we still be victorious at the end? This video also features a drinking game. Every time you hear me say Wonky line, you take a drink. Just don't make it alcohol, otherwise you won't make it until the end of the video. Don't even take coffee unless you're used to it. Maybe only small sips of water. The only risk then is you'll be going to the toilet every 2 minutes for the rest of the day. For the weekly challenge we had to use the Lamborghini Centenario from 2016. And as I had to equip it with winter tires for that already, and I also liked the tune that I downloaded, I decided to use it for this trial as well. We have 3 street races and the first one up is the Holy Route Run. And I even have a decent starting position. However, it's not the starting position we get points for, we need a decent finishing position. But before we get to the finish line, we need to cross many snow-covered roads and avoid many a civilian car. The combination of the two can be quite treacherous in these S2 classed bulls. And now already you can see that I am just barely able to avoid the civilian cars. I'm up in 5th position. I get to run on 2 more. Have a wonky line down here. And receive a punt for it. Not sure if that was a human player or a drivatar. And also not last time you will see a wonky line for me either. I tried to brake early for most corners. S2 class cars, winter, street races where I have no idea where we're heading for most of the time. So I either need to check on the minimap or try to look ahead as much as possible on the road to know what's coming my way. Only 2 drivatars in front. I'm up in 3rd place. But then all of a sudden the 2 drivatars in front decide to take a coffee break. All of this racing must be very tiresome, so they decide to park it in the middle of the road and chat with one of the civilians. I was lucky I ghosted out when I did, or I would be forced to join their little cappuccino time. Hey, these are Italian cars, they don't drink regular coffee, they drink cappuccino. But we have to come back to the wonky line, as you can see me. Well, leaving some skid marks on the grass. And I can just avoid the civilian car, but the one on my tail was not that fortunate. This car is absolutely beautiful as far as this kind of car goes. I'm not that big of a fan, although I must admit that they do have a certain appeal. But more importantly, it drives quite nice in the snow. I have a small lead, hope to get to the finish line with that lead, and I do. First race, and I finish in 1st place. And more, we have also 2nd and 3rd place. I believe that's a certain win already, regardless of what everybody else does. Oh, and we have 1 less racer, then for sure this is already 1 championship point for us. 1st place in S2 class in winter. Well, maybe the winter conditions actually helped. Maybe the drivatars have more difficulty with it than we do, as I was able to pass them when they collided with one of the civilians. Nevertheless, I am quite proud of myself. Let's see if we can do this little trick again in the next race. But if I want to accomplish that, I will have to be both careful and fast. Such a small line between a good race and a complete bottle job in this class. Next race up is the Ashbrook Apex. Not that we'll be meeting a lot of Apexes, but we'll give it a try nonetheless. And this race is a much faster race. There are not that many sharp corners, so it is quite different to the previous race. And in this race, my starting position is even better, as now I start in pole position. Only 6 driver tars to pass to get to first place. That seems easy enough, does it not? So let's see how well we do in this race. But first, enjoy my little dance. And, well, you can't see the car, the beauty of the car, but you get to enjoy it anyway. Off the finish line, a decent launch. I get to pass some driver tars, and then we're back to the wonky lines. And I continue. Receive a little punt for it, and then Jalone passes me, but I can get the cutback on him immediately. And now I know that the bridge section is coming up and I want to brake early, which is made quite difficult by Jalone, who wants to pass me again. I think he succeeds, but is then reset. I smell a missed checkpoint. Onto a longer straight, very fast section, but then it is tea time. Well, for some driver tars and one big ass snowplow. No tea for me. As I weave through the cars, I'm up in second place. Jalone did not have a missed checkpoint after all. He must have just clipped the wall or something, as he's still right on my tail. And I'm in chase of the leader. And I can close in on him. And in this corner I even give him a little love tap, but in all honesty that's just because I went in too hot. But I can't keep on him. Well, never mind the wonky lines. And then, eventually, I can get past him. First place. Now, just cling on to it for dear life. But he keeps on my tail. We're a couple of bulls on parade. And then we go to the festival, where we have one last very tight corner before the long straight. He is still right on my tail. I brake, we can even see the hood of him. And then it is the last straight, and I can get some distance between us. Heading for the finish line in what seems another first place. Will I be able to make it? And yes, I do. Points-wise, things are looking up for our team as well. Second place is also for us. Then things shift a little bit, but in the end, we do have enough points to secure our second championship point and thus also the championship itself. Dare I say it, the victory is already ours. The last race is for honor only. Again, I'm pretty pleased with myself and with my team, as I expected a far worse trial, taking into consideration the race conditions. 2 races, 2 first places for me. Will I be able to score a hat-trick, or will the last race finally prove me the average racer that I actually am? And then, out of the blue, Forza drops this bombshell on us. The final race is nothing less than the marathon. But luck is on my side, as I again start in second place. Second place of the human team. Will I be able to capitalize on that? A very long race means lots of opportunity to work your way through the pack, but it also means a lot of opportunity to make all kinds of mistakes. Let's see how well we do. And as in the previous races, I start pretty fast, but then hit a wall to avoid the driver tar. And I don't stop early enough for the corner, but the fence sends my car back, which actually helps, but was somewhat unexpected. A human player with a dive bomb that would make a blue whale jealous. He hits a driver tar and I take both their positions. Thank you very much. 4th place and time enough to slowly catch them. I just need to get my car under control. The long straight, we make a lot of speed. And I brake very early, but still not in time, and I still hit the fence and the little bushes. A very strange corner, and I always seem to have trouble with it. And then some straight out corners and then this very sharp one, but this time it goes fine. And then it's fast going again, but I completely misjudge this one, hit a civilian, and then I go swimming in this beautiful lake, pond, puddle, I don't know, a body of water of some sorts. I only dropped down one position, so my little diving expedition was not as bad as it could have been. I'm now down in 5th place and the hunt is on. But in this corner, well, he can take it a lot faster. The car in front just runs away from me with great ease. I must be one of the bullies while he's Forrest. Run, Forrest, run! The tune I'm using on this car is called Winter Guard Trial and is created by Monk Zero today, especially for this trial. And as far as I'm concerned, it is a very good tune. So check it out if you're in need of a tune for this car. And as I said, I took the Lamborghini Centenario LP770-4 from 2016. And this car combined with the tune are working fine for me so far. As we slowly head our way to the bridge section once again. Jolone is not close enough to punt me this time, so that means I can bottle it all on my own, but not as bad as the driver in front. See him go out of the water straight into a tree. Now that is a wonky line. I'll take that 4th place, thank you very much. Now all we need is another snowplow rounding up the first 3 driver tires and then I can finish in 1st place again. Unfortunately, that's not happening. But I ask you, why are these civilians persisting on looking like bowling pins? And well, I'm driving more or less like a bowling ball, so I'm going straight for the gutter at 150 miles per hour. But seriously, when doing street races, they are always driving on the most annoying places and right on the racing line every single time. I think that Forza sees this as a fun extra challenge, but I think most of us consider it equally fun as hitting your little toe against the table leg, being fully aware that that table leg was actually there and you thought you were just missing it, completely surprised by the impact and doing that funny little rain dance we do when that happens. Fun for others maybe, yes, but not so fun for the one doing it. Now, don't look at the screen too much at this section. It might be nauseating, going left, right, it's pretty much a military march. And again, such a fracking civilian car on the one spot I did not want it. Well, if they wanted us to go cross-country this often, they should have selected a cross-country race. Or maybe I should learn to control my car. But no, it is easier to blame the game. Now, this straight is, well, not entirely straight, but I always have trouble with this road, and now in winter it is even more difficult to see where one needs to drive. So I just consider it a straight and do some more off-roading. And I go wide, very wide. But I was not the only one, and actually this gives me a decent run for the next section, which in turn allows me to pass the driver car in 2nd place. 2nd place, only one more driver car to overtake, and I immediately do that. Momentarily. I keep on his tail while the one behind me stays close to me. Look at the braking lines, look at the braking lines, there are none, so I don't brake. Well, the tree does that job nicely for me. Why should I bother to do that then? Well, maybe because it drops me down to 5th place, even behind Jolone, who is also doing a nice job this championship. But he too has some misfortune with a civilian, and that messes up his run towards the corner and also the corner itself. We're at 75% and the 3 leaders are quite far ahead. A hat trick would actually be a magic trick as it seems now. I wonder if I have some rabbit that I can pull out of my hat. And there it is already, the first rabbit in the form of a driver car that actually makes use of the same braking assist as I did earlier. Quite an effective braking assist, I can tell you. Unfortunately, I do believe that Jalone also wanted to try it out as he dropped down the order at the exact same spot. And now Backman is right on my tail. But we're also closing in on the leaders. I can see them in the distance from time to time. The driver in front slows down in the corner and I take a Wonky line and his position. Now, drivatars are funny people. They tend to slow down in the later parts of many races, and this was an example of just that. Take a look at the leader and see how far ahead he is while I go cross country once again. I'm pumped with adrenaline by now, but realize I can't catch him anymore, especially not driving like that. But look, he's not that far ahead, and he seems to concede on the drag race towards the finish line. This is not a victorious win. This is a granted win. It does not feel like a real victory. Yes, I have my hat-trick, but do I really? Well, my final position in the last race doesn't matter all that much. We do not have enough points to win the race. There are some shifts and one drivatar who seems to not finish behind after our human players in the last position do not finish. I'm not entirely sure what is going on there, but for some reason, with our 1250 points against their 1800 points, we get the championship point. We get another victory point. So, after granting me the first position, they also throw this victory point our way. Thanks, I guess. We were championship winners anyway, so we deserve the grand prize, which is of course a Lambo. It is the Aventador Forza edition. Regardless of the undeserved first place in the last race, I did enjoy this trial a lot more than I expected it. And I'm still quite proud of my performance. And to finish it off, we get a fantastic wheel spin as we level up. Well, I wonder what we will get. Will it be yet another whopping 10,000 credit this time around? Nope, we don't. Smash the like button to pay respect, or better yet, subscribe to my channel or check out another video. And I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.